been conditioned into thinking that having a 9 to 5 gives you freedom, but you actually have zero freedom because you have no control over your time. Freedom is actually having complete control over your schedule. Yes, you work a 9 to 5, you have a steady paycheck, you have benefits, but you are trapped. You have no control over your time. 40 hours every single week. You have to go to this job. You have literally no other choice. It doesn't matter if you're making 100K a year, 200K a year, you are trapped. You are not free. You are trapped to the mortgage payment, the car payment, whatever other bills you have, you are trapped. And you get what? Benefits, health insurance, 4 weeks paid time off. You wouldn't even need these benefits if you just didn't have to work the 9 to 5. Like, let's actually dive deep into this. I think that 99% of illnesses are caused by stress, eating unhealthy, and overworking yourself. If you didn't have this job and you didn't eat unhealthy, I don't think you'd have any of these illnesses. You are exchanging your time.
Yes, working a 9 to 5 is not always the greatest and should never be the end goal, but it is a step in life that should be respected. You know, I see people do these videos about how, hard work is and why do I have to work and work sucks and all of these type of things. But if you didn't have a job, how are you going to get to the next level in life? This is how life works. If you want to get to that place to where you become financially free, you have to start by working a job. So complaining about a step in the process of getting to where you're trying to get to in life, to me, is irrelevant. It should be something that people understand. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most men understand that. No matter what you do, you gotta work a job to get to where you want to get to. I mean, and the job could be it could be anything. I'm not saying you have to work at Walmart or work at Target or work at Denny's or something like that. I'm just saying you have to make money, right? How are you going to start your business one day if you don't make money? You get what I'm saying? I mean, even if you go and start a channel on YouTube, it takes a while to start making money on YouTube. You're not finna make it after a couple of months. It may take a whole year, maybe 2 years to make money on YouTube. But you have to start a process in order to get to where you're trying to get to. So complaining about it just sounds crazy to me. Crazy.
Time and freedom for a job that you wouldn't even need these benefits for if you didn't have the job. Like, genuinely, that is what I've realized. Like, okay, yeah, you have a 401k. Some people die before they even get to use the 401k benefits. And also, I just don't understand, what's the point of saving all this money for when you're 65? You should be using this money now. You don't know what the future holds, and maybe this is just bad advice, but you spend the money. You don't know if you're going to make it till tomorrow. Spend the money. I'm not telling you to go into debt, but if you have the money, spend the money.
Spend the money. Just spend the money. It don't matter. It don't matter if you're retired and that's all you got and you may have another 20, 30, 40 years to live, but spend the money. Spend that money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I am on a mission to lead others to Christ. And if you believe in that movement, I would appreciate it if you join this journey with me. So yeah, that's terrible advice. See, what people have to understand is in life, you have to learn how to play chess. You don't let your job use you, you use your job. And you don't let money become your idol, use it as a tool. You don't just spend it on careless stuff. You use it to help you get to the next step in life, whatever that may be. You know, it could be, like I said, starting your own business, investing in something meaningful, building relationships, helping others, whatever. But don't ever just spend it for no reason unless you got it like that. See, everyone wants the American dream and complain if they don't get it, but too lazy to put the time and effort into what requires you to actually grow in life and to get to a place to where you can now appreciate what it took to get there. And let me tell you something else. A job is not your identity. It's a tool. If you have to work a 9 to 5 right now, don't walk around ashamed of it because somebody on TikTok told you the American dream is a scam. Maybe that 9 to 5 is funding the dream you're building after work. Maybe it's paying your bills while you're learning a skill. Maybe it's putting food on your children's table while you're figuring out your next move. There's dignity in honest work. Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart as working for the Lord. That's the mentality you need. Stop waiting for somebody to rescue you and start asking God, what am I supposed to do with what you gave me? And here's where I'm going to challenge you. If you hate your job, don't spend the next 10 years complaining about it. Use it as a stepping stone. Learn something. Save some money. Build something. Network. Get another certification if you need one. Start the business you always wanted to start. Whatever your next move is, move. Because complaining on TikTok doesn't change your circumstances. Action does. And I'm not saying everybody could just work harder and magically become wealthy. Life is real. Some people are dealing with circumstances they didn't create. But whatever, you are, you have to, wherever you are, you have to ask yourself what you could control. Because you can spend 5 years blaming the system like a lot of people do. Your boss, the economy, your partner, your parents, America, or everybody else. Or you could spend those same 5 years building yourself. And don't misunderstand me. Rest matters too. Your life shouldn't be just work, work, work. Jesus himself withdrew to quiet places. But there's a difference between resting because you're exhausted and using freedom as an excuse to never build anything. There's a difference between it. Proverbs 14:23 says all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. That's the part people don't want to hear. Everybody wants financial freedom. Everybody wants passive income. Everybody wants to own the house they're living in, drive the car they want, travel the world and wake up whenever they want. But nobody wants to talk about the years of discipline that come before that freedom. Go figure. You don't get freedom by running away from responsibility. Life don't work like that. You get freedom by learning how to manage responsibility. And here's the biggest lesson. Don't worship the American dream, and don't worship the rejection of the American dream either. Worship God, because whether you work a 9 to 5, run a business, build a career, raise children, or do something completely different, your money is not your purpose. Your job is not your purpose. Your house is not your purpose. God is your purpose. Money is just a tool. Work is a tool. Opportunity is a tool. Use what God puts in your hand and stop waiting for life to become perfect before you start building. You might not be where you want to be today, but if you're willing to work, learn, sacrifice, pray, and make wise decisions, you don't have to stay there. Don't let your job become your prison like her. But don't be so afraid of work that you never built the key, because that's the goal. I'm going to leave it there. It's your boy, Paul P. Thanks for watching. I love you all. I'm out of here. Doses.